Alright, gamers. How we doing? Good to see all of you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It is very dry here today. So, if I'm biting the shit out of my lips, don't let me. Because they'll get super chapped super easy, and then they'll bleed, and it's, ugh. My mouth feels dry. I need to moisturize, but, I need to buy more actually decent moisturizer. Yeah, Kevin, I'm explaining. I'm explaining the shit nobody cares about. Nobody's here for that, but, like, life updates. Yes. Yes, everyone's here for this bit. Everyone's here for this. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing great. David, Jester, loading screen, Sen, Green Beans, Reckless Monster, Jackaboy. What day the co-op run happened? So, last night, me and the boys, that being Lazy Data, Ancient Rune, and Stone Swan, we did a 4-player co-op run of the special event. Hey Kitty, how you doing? We did a 4-player co-op run, optimizing for crystals, and we learned a lot about how certain things affect your crystals throughout the run. We got a run where we did 190,000 crystals per player. 190. Now, we theorized that if everything had gone perfectly, if everything had gone like 1-to-1 as well as it possibly could have, and we milked a couple rooms that we chose not to, 200,000 is possible. Beyond that, we don't quite know how to get the total higher than that. But still, 200,000 crystals per player in 4-player co-op. It was a good time. It was a good time. We had 2 Blight Caller DoT builds. Lazy was on Blender. I was hammer throwing. It was a good time. It'll be watched. Rune actually uploaded a video of it. This was off stream, but Rune uploaded a video on his YouTube channel. Lazy was also recording, I believe, so he might upload something when he has the time. But yeah. Check out Rune's channel. Yeah, feel free to link it if you want to, Rune. So yeah, it was a lot of crystals. There it is. Take all curses. We took every curse. With the basically the way we thought about it was no roguelite. Anything else was on the table. We ended up not taking, I don't think we got enough to get Outdam DoT. But yeah, we just basically took everything that wasn't roguelite. And we spent none of the crystals. We didn't even use them. We did not even use them. We also found something weird about how, world drops kind of iterate. So if you're in a co-op lobby, then world drops you get from named enemies are shared, and they will pull from the available world drop pool of the host. So I was the host, and we killed an obelisk boss, and it dropped the same exact roll of the same exact Brutal Stampede for all of us, and we could all pick up our own copy. It was kind of a weird little thing. So basically, group farming has a lot of value, especially group farming areas where you get world drops. So high enemy density on a high chaos level. It's cool stuff. You take Nasty Spell? We did not take Nasty Spell. That was the other one that was off the table. We took Nullify. It was basically anything except Nasty Spell and Roguelite. That was the other one I forgot. But it went well. How you doing, Swin? Good to see you. But since I did the run on this build, I may as well do a couple a couple warm-up rounds on this build. Hey Sinju, how you doing? It's the build, it's my hammer throwing setup. Now, I did spend most of the time just spamming Queen's Cry tasers. Because didn't have time to do much more. But I did hammer throwing.
Are you prepared? We'll see.
Build you're presently enjoying the most? Probably this one. Does build work with some of these higher? Yes. Wouldn't be ideal, but it would work. Barreled myself. That happened a lot yesterday, too.
Enjoy your vacation.
And this is also me running it with less damage than I would normally have. Because Body Rune isn't the first choice, especially not with that enchant, but for survivability it was just kind of necessary to run it that way.
All fired up, are we?
Hit C75 last night on Dreadwind build, no more volatile gear for me. Nice. Very nice. This is why I like this build the most. So my PC is having a fit today. It'll wake up. Is that 3 hits or 2 hits? That was 1 hit. So, neither. Morning, Urban Mech. Wish I could do 4-player co-op run with y'all to see how many crystals I lose from being old gen. Then get Xbox Lives. Tried the Giga run, I was cruising through it, mistakenly took Outdan Bout about halfway through, and the wife came home, so I quit the run because it was taking too long. Understandable. See a distinct lack of Skeep. We're gonna go back to Skeep in a little bit, Urban Mech. I'm just warming up with the hammer throwing build. Talking about the co-op run I did last night with the boys on hammer throwing. So I figured I'd hammer throw while I talk about hammer throwing. And look, there's Escape. Aw, that would have been a 1 throw. But I missed one of my crossbolts. The difference of literally 1 crossbolt. Who was playing in the run? What did everyone play? It was me on this build. Rune doing Blightcaller dot stuff, Stone Swan doing Blightcaller dot stuff, and Lazy playing Blender. It's a lot of fun. There is a video of it on Rune's YouTube channel. Lazy was also recording. He might make some content with that. How many crystals? 190k. 190,000. We theorized that with the route we had, if everything had gone perfectly and we milked a couple rooms that we didn't, 200k is possible. Beyond that, questionable. Because of how crystals are generated on raid bosses, kind of surprised us a bit. They don't quite scale that much. Like, the meat of crystals on high crystal runs is just killing enemies. It's killing enemies with as many curses as possible. That's how you get high crystal totals. Raid bosses are not as much of the percentage as we thought they were. It's just kill enemies while having lots of curses. For example, there is one room that we milked as much as possible with bar forms, and we got like 11,000 crystals in one singular room. But then there's another room where we only got 2,000 crystals, because we didn't kill that many enemies. It's killing the enemies is the big difference. How long spending them take? That's the funny part. We didn't spend any. Ain't nobody got time for that. Got time for the queen, though, apparently. Apparently I do. How we doing? Doing well, Mr. Adblock. How are you? This fucking boss, man. Kinda doing a burial for 16-year-old today. Ugh. Yeah, that sounds like a draining experience. Sorry to hear.
Let's go wreak some havoc.
Okay, I'm looking out for spells and armors, mostly. Spells. Go more race, I'm done with this shit, so I can't wait. Yeah. I'm still glad to hear you're getting out of there. Definitely not somewhere I would want, to be long-term, you know? But you gotta do what you gotta do. Triple Ice Spike with 2 spell damage parts. It's certainly trying. Okay, so how do these work with polymorph? Because on the surface, that looks pretty promising. I feel like this is the kind of thing that would stick to the skeep, though. I'm gonna pick it up anyway. Impaling Ice Spike, that's a good one. I gotta try that out. On the Skeep. Right, Kevin? Yeah. Recharge Garlic Breath. Quaking Thunder with Radius and 2 cooldown parts. That's really good, actually. Hello? 12-second cooldown on a Quaking Thunder. I think that's the fastest I've ever seen on one. I don't know if I've ever gotten a double cooldown roll. At least not that I can remember. Not on a good Chaos tiered one. Take that. Crit damage, spell damage on a laser hand. That's too good not to take. Spell charge, crit chance, frozen orb. I'd want better parts, I think. It's insane. The laser hand? Yeah. I still haven't gotten as good an Ice Spike as that one I got in a vendor. That volatile one. It's still a monster. Two projectile parts. And spell damage, volatile, regular Ice Spike. Still the absolute GOAT. Okay, yeah, for people who haven't seen this build, you know, down to tier 4 of Clawbringer, Capstone Stabbo, Alchemical Agent, Executioner's Blade, because I have a hard time playing builds without that. And we take a bunch of crit stuff with a high crit chance pickaxe, and we Storm Dragon's Judgment things, and it's a good time. Just simply enjoyable. The Ice Spike. Hey, calamari yesterday tastes like shrimp. I don't think your seafood palate is refined. It is not refined. Hey, Uncle Noble, how you doing? So back to the build we were sciencing a bunch yesterday. Ended up being some cool rot shot polymorph DoT thing. Could definitely improve this more. Which is something I'm happy to try out. I remembered Curse of Malice exists this time. I think I have one in my bag. These are all the old spells. The old ones. All these chaotics and volatiles. This is most of my bank. Just spells from, like, launch month that I was like, yeah, I'll totally use these. And they got buried back there. Double radius status chance cube. Hello?
She's just a girl and she's on fire.
Hey, David. Thank you for taking care of Urban Mech. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Urban Mech, you know the deal. Enjoy the stuff and things. Definitely clean out the volatiles and chaotics. It's something I want to do, but that's a lot of effort. So I'm not gonna. It's really that simple. Like, I don't need all these arcane bolts. Arcane bolt kind of fell off pretty hard after C20. As we not only got better options, but as we learned more about the game, it's kind of like, there's other things that fill this role just fine. That's a decent reviver. But it's volatile. I'll take that to remember reviver exists. There's a green? Yes. That's there for a reason. This is when I was going to do an all-green build, and then eventually I decided I want to do an all-white build, but I didn't decide against doing an all-green build, so that's there. To remind me that you can get an ice spike at that, and, like, look at this for a green. Just, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's still really good.
How come everyone gets to take a bathroom break except me? Haven't taken a leak since this whole quest business started.
Okay, I have some Blazing Calamities in here. Really good spell for green? Exactly, that's why I have it. Spell damage status, damage radius. That is not your actual dot. No, I've got the UI bug. If I remember correctly, Blazing Calamities don't have fantastic dots. I should have more bank space. I just want the bank to run better. Because, like, most of my icons aren't showing up, and if I scroll any faster than what I'm doing right now, then the whole thing hangs up. Yeah, massive elemental blast. This is the one suggested yesterday. Big radius. It's a simple cast. I just worry that this kills the Skeep. That's my main concern there. Hey, search function, please. A search function would be great as well. For sure. I have a lot of Quaking Slenders in here. It was my favorite spell for the first month of the game. Yeah, I even have blue ones. The Frostburn. Another Frostburn. Garlic Breath was a bust. Thanks again to Hawken for testing that. Okay, I think we made it through spells. Oh no, there's more. Forgot about Weird Weaver. See, this is what I meant by scrolling too fast. You need to wait for it to catch up. With 1,000 bank space, my PS4 would probably take 20 minutes for it to load. Yeah, more bank space is not the answer to this issue. We need what's here to work better. No, I should be looking at more of the legendaries instead of just the purples here, but the purples are interesting, you know? Is but a small price to pay for the ability to store more. That's the thing, Sinju. I have about 200 items in this bank that I don't need, and I would love to be able to store more, but it takes so long to go through those items and move them that I don't bother. I don't use that space because of it. So increasing that space to, say, 700, sure, I put another 200 things that I cannot get rid of after that in there, and I don't go into my bank still. So I'm not actually using the space that I have. So I'd rather, 500 storage spaces that work rather than 1,000 that don't. That's just my personal take. Okay, I'll try what we got here. Sell from bank? That'd be great. That would be fantastic. So still Wicked Gossip for now. If I switch off the DoT focus... Actually, I want to try... this really quick. Do I have a dark magic? Kind of. Oh, that'll be fine. I want to see just the coverage of Curse of Malice here before I switch back to the appropriate gear. And that made my game hang up. That is very good coverage. Maybe too good. It's a little too much to use practically, but this does... Maybe we end up making that other meme build that I wanted to make today. So what I wanted to do a while ago was, using Curse of Malice with Lich's Augur. I don't have one on me anymore. With Lich's Augur and Selective Amnesia, knowing that it'll hit me too, but when it breaks my shield, I get more damage and more spell crit chance. And Selective Amnesia, when I get hit, I do more damage. So doing that, with like Blaze of Glory and Relentless Rage, just a fight for your life / save your soul spellcasting build with Curse of Malice. I thought it'd be funny. It's gonna suck at bossing, but like, haha, funny. Jamstone? Maybe Jamstone.
I've got all the magic I need. I've got vengeance on my mind.
The radius is too much.
Good for what ails.
It's too much. Now, if I went back to DoT rings... Like, after 3 or 4 deaths, the bar would go away very quickly? Yes, very, very quickly. Add a barba load? That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I like it.
That's not a bad choice. Dead
You know, that kind of works. As long as I keep my distance, this works pretty well. Oh, god damn it. Wait. Curse of Malice might work better on Drill than Wicked Gossip. Maybe. We're about to find out.
Spells are spent. That look suits you. I'll take that.
Whoops. Oh, that totally cast on me. It's okay, we're fine. We're fine. I'm not fine. We're fine.
Gets me every time.
That did pretty well. Like, when it works, it works. And it's got good range. This is working way better than I thought it would. I thought I'd have to do a separate setup for Curse of Malice, but like, it just kind of works.
You won't be needing that.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. But this changes what I want to spec, because now I really want Worst Curse. Restore the Veil makes more sense here, now that I'm using a Dark Spell. That's cool. I guess I should also keep an eye out for a Dark Magic Eidolon. This roll, but Dark Magic. Well, I could equip it. Just like, chill.
Can't wait to throw some spells.
Parts on the comm. Area damage, spell crit chance. What is my spell crit chance currently? 81. I could get that higher. That might be worth getting higher. That might be worth getting higher. Think about it. Actually, I don't have rune switches, I don't have marbles, don't have poetry, I don't have all the obelisks? I didn't do any collectibles on this save. Do we run around doing collectibles today, chat? Squeeze some free stats out. Rolls on the spell. 2 crit chance and spell damage. Yeah, as long as you don't stack too much radius, then the curses won't hit the polymorphed enemy. And that works out pretty well.
Oh, I'll make a nice payday out of you.
Here for it. Want to watch them while I do dishes? I don't remember how to do the marbles because it's been so long since I've done that one. I did the rune switches recently. Obelisks would be fine as well. But I'd get so bored. Alright, slowly going over spell shot for the spell funny. I've done plenty of spell shot stuff on stream. Just I do it a lot less often than other stuff I like. That's all. That was an interesting hitbox thing. I guess while Zomboss is up there, some stuff just kind of doesn't. That's where Radius comes in. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted. A shot per marble. Swin, it's 10 a.m. Also, I don't have that much alcohol in my house. And? Oh. Well, refer to the second point. So, once again, what I wanted to do today has been completely derailed by what I can do today. That's Curse of Malice is fucking cool. There's situations where it absolutely won't be desirable, but like, how many of those don't get solved by shooting a Queen's Cry? I guess Maker. Barbalode, Barbalode, Barbalode. The real question is, how much of my life can I fix by shooting Queen's Cry? And the answer is all of it. We love Queen's Cry. Something like that. Barbarella. Hey Charlie, how you doing? Amalgam's trying. Stabo Blight with 2 Contagion, 1 Exploit. There's actually no bad skill combo for like Ghostblade on this, by the way, because even if you roll, say, 5 Virulence, oh no, you have maximum alchemical agent duration. Oh no. And then Contagion is you have more consistency on your damage spiraling, and Exploit their weakness is just more damage on everything. So, like, there's no bad skill combo for Ghostblade if you go Stabo Blight. It's a fun thing. But it rolled melee damage, which is great for that. All damage, which is great for that. Fire rate, which indirectly good. Then the gun crit chance, ability crit chance is where it kind of fell off. But it really tried. And Amalgam tried hard. Gun damage, gun crit chance, area damage, ability crit chance. Normally, ability crit chance is not fantastic, but this is Geist in the Shell. It's a little too good to not take. Also, really good Amnesia. 3 Faithful Thralls, 1 Dark Hydras, 1 Thrill of the Hunt. All damage, gun crit chance, gun damage. Bunnies are being kind today. Melee weapon do you like for Ghostblade setup? Currently Pickaxe is my preferred. Pickaxe or Twin Soul are good ones to go after. Also, if you get a well-rolled Great Axe, those actually have great DPS, pun intended. They're just a little lower on the crit chance, and I've been something of a slut for crit chance as of late. But basically with Ghostblade, you're juggling a bunch of different stats, Tough Nation, compared to other action skills. Like with Ghostblade, you're looking at not only the base damage, but you're also looking at the attack speed, the crit chance, and the crit damage. If you look at the other melee action skills, you don't tend to look at all of those things. Like with Dreadwind, you're not looking at the attack speed. The other three stats, yes. The attack speed, no. With Storm Dragon's Judgment, you're only looking at the crit stats. Cleansing Flames, only the crit stats. So it's a little harder to gear optimally for Ghostblade while not neglecting other areas of melee. But Pickaxe, Twin Soul are great all-rounders, so they do the job well. Stop giving me good pixies. I don't want pixies. Ooh. Dark Magic Shrike. Yes. Lightning Bolt. That's a really high roll. Oh, that's because it's non-Ellie. Yeah. So the optimal Fear Knot for Lightning Bolt chucking that you want is non-elemental, because non-Ellie Fear Knot Lightning Bolts are still lightning damage, but you get the higher base damage because you don't have an elemental part. So it's just more. Like this non-Ellie Primordial has more damage than, you know, an elemental Ascended. 940 versus 989. Say what now? So, see, this one says, when thrown, create massive lightning bolt. It means lightning. If you do not have an elemental part to change it to a different element, it defaults to lightning, not a non-elemental bolt. So both the lightning roll and the non-Ellie roll are lightning damage, but because non-Ellie weapons have higher base damage than lightning weapons, it's better to go non-Ellie over lightning. If you want any other element, you go with that element, but lightning is the worst roll for lightning bolts, is the TLDR. Like, here we go. Chain Lightning Bolt, non-Ellie, 1175. That is absolutely huge base damage. What? That is an upgrade. You just gotta speak it into existence. So compare that to that. I got a slightly better mag on this one, but with a difference of only one part and then element, that's over 200 more base damage? Yeah, that's a lot better. Wait, did it even come with the enchant I wanted? It totally did. I'm a little RNG carried today, I must say. That's, huh. This is the luckiest streak of drops I've gotten in a little bit. Like, I already need to put stuff away. Okay. Let's respec. What if I ran one ring spell crit chance? Do I have something that fits the bill there? Spell crit chance, spell radius. Spell crit damage, spell radius. Poker chance, poker damage.
Dress to kill.
$89.6. 91.3. 94.8. 98.3. Let's just max out dexterity, see what happens there. Okay. Let's try that hero point spread. I'm curious. Definitely want more cooldown because of that. I didn't account for frostbite here. Shit. Actually, that works out fine. That's fine. Do I give up Flawless Edge here? What are my other sources of all damage? I have 20 there, 10 there, so 35. And that's it? No, I can't give up Flawless Edge. I'll give up Bog Down. Let's skip Toxicity. Yeah. Do I want the one imbued weapon or the one amped up? Imbued weapon's another DoT chance. It's gonna be weird not having amped up here, but I'm gonna try it. Experimental. Spell's gonna always crit now? Yes. So currently it's at 101.2 because I have Promise Ring active, but this won't always be active, so I'll lose that crit chance. But I have Frostbite, so I can have up to 36 there, which will work out to around the same as what I get there. So my spells should pretty much always crit now, which means I always get double knot. I want to see how that plays out. Seems okay. I really do want amped up, though. The ability damage from Worst Curse doesn't do anything for me. What I'm getting basically from this is 27% spell damage. I'll continue this, but we'll probably move the Worst Curse points to amped up. The Geist points aren't actually strictly helpful right now, but against certain bosses, they are, so.
I was casting spells when you were just a wiggle in your daddy's D20s.
No magic left.
The forces of evil are mine to command.
That's more like it.
There's the DoT. Didn't get the phase skip, that was close. Amped up make it harder to have Flawless Edge? No, Amped up makes it easier to have Flawless Edge. Flawless Edge gives you more damage based on having a higher ward. A higher percentage. So that's why I want amped up. Not only is it movement speed, it's better uptime on Flawless Edge.
And death is your reward. Idiot. You didn't beg. Got that going for you.
That was more damage. It's full. Fatemaker gains increased damage dealt based on how full their ward is. The fuller their ward, the greater the bonus. So, amped up, this skill refills my ward over time, which makes it easier to get Flawless Edge active. This more full, more damage. This make more full.
Kneel before your dragon lord. Get ready to roll up a new character.
Still time to run the other way.
Not to mention Zoomy speed. Yeah, I am feeling a little slow.
You wanted to meet Bernadette.
Hoof it already.
Can I Curse of Malice Bernadette? That's my next question.
Legions of bones, attack!
Oh, yeah, that works. That works very well.
Over!
Wait, that's so sick. That's so sick. Curse of Malice absolutely shits on Bernadette. Because all the projectiles just spawn there. That's so good. Thank you for testing. Yeah, you're welcome. Spread the word, chat. Curse of Malice is hype. Also, Sen, look at this Fear Not I got as a drop. Like, it dropped with this enchant, too. 1175 base, Chain Lightning. This is so good.
Forgot who you were dealing with, did ya? You were short work.
Fuck. Yeah, because the non-Ellie bonus, I guess, lack of penalty is more technically precise, but and it's still lightning damage, so we still get all the elemental buffs. And it's just good. Do I have a Twisted Delusion on this build? Has anyone been keeping track? Have I been getting DLC 1 drops? Let's see. Have I done chumps on this character? Because I want a Delusion. What do we got? No, I've not done chums at all on this character. I guess I gotta grab one from a different save. Do I have one in my bank? I played myself. Okay, we're good. Can I get Demon Blights from the bunnies to complete all 4 weeks? Yes. But honestly, I'd say the most efficient Demon Blight farming would be to have one character where you've only completed Form 1 and just go to the wheel. Because while Demon Blight might seem like something that's very variance heavy at first, the only thing that really matters, it's 2 things. 1, getting 3 slots. 2, getting duration. That's the most important bit. Chance is sometimes useful, but duration is way more value. And it doesn't often matter which elements you get because both Contagion and Alchemical Agent apply random elements. So you benefit from any of them. Hey Austin, how you doing? Tips on making a DoT build for Stab of Blight, that class combo so optimal. That would probably be the best combo for just general quality of life when doing a DoT build. So you're on the right track there. I would say the biggest thing is with that combo, skill tree wise, you want to grab Spirit Swarm from the Blight tree, and you want to grab Contagion in the Stabo tree. Those are going to be the 2 most important skills in your arsenal, the biggest factors in increasing your damage. And then you want to stack raw status effect damage as much as possible. I don't have any skills for that, but that obviously means pumping your wisdom stat as much as possible, getting Demon Blight rings, getting amulets with status effect damage. Reason for that being both Contagion and Spirit Swarm double dip your status damage. So it's an exponential increase in damage. And since Spirit Swarm can happen off of a Contagion DoT, what'll happen is if you apply a very strong DoT, that will spawn a Spirit Swarm. The DoT was obviously increased by your status damage. Spirit Swarm checks your status damage again. But what can happen along the way is you get that first DoT, it turns into a Contagion DoT, which checks your status damage again, and then you go to Spirit Swarm. So you can triple dip status damage. Biggest thing, get Contagion, Spirit Swarm, stack status damage, and you'll be good. You want to look out for certain weapons that are good at applying DoTs, such as White Rider has a very strong DoT, it's very good at applying. Shadow Fire, Sword Explosion on sticky mode. All those are great bets. Hey Assassin, how you doing? That's so cool. Oh, I love this spell. This might be my new favorite spell in the game. That's so cool. Hey, you've been tinkering with stuff so far. I'm really into DoT builds, gun builds as well, but mostly DoT. DoT builds are the highest peaking form of damage dealing in this game. If you want to like go to the absolute max in terms of potential damage, that's DoT builds. Gun builds are very middle of the pack. Now you can use guns as a vehicle to apply DoTs, but that still falls under DoT builds. So I think if you're after power, you're going down the right path. So I guess you can loosely think of Curse of Malice as, functionally, it's basically a legendary raining calamity. That's like way better. I just woke up, having coffee and chilling, avoiding New Tales spoilers. I'm avoiding those as well. I will be streaming New Tales tomorrow or the day after. Normally use White Rider single beam for higher damage. Would it be better as double beam for mobbing? Depends. If you don't notice a difference in clear rate, with the double beam, then by all means do that, because it's more ammo efficient and it'll be hitting more enemies. There's a couple specific scenarios where I would recommend dual beam. For example, against Redmorn, the DLC 4 boss, because that boss's hitboxes work the way they do. Hey, Rabbit, thank you for the raid. Because that boss can be hit with multi-target things as a single target, dual beam is good there. Generally speaking, single is better, though. Scotty Tots, you've been going about things right? How'd First Descendant go, Rabbit? I briefly lurked during my morning routine, totally to get the drops. I feel like you'd enjoy it. Very Outriders feel. It looked Outriders-y when I was watching you play it. Definitely needs to optimize before launch, but beta after all. I'm glad they're having a beta then. It was a wise choice. Gets their name out there, lets people know that it's still something they're monitoring. I think that's a good philosophy. Imagine letting Celissa have a second phase, build ruined. I'm sorry. I'll do better next time. I am using a lightning weapon against a boss that resists lightning, so like, do I get some points back for that? You don't have very low graphics quality, still looks really good. That's good news. All out this time? Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Very Outriders feel has a story to it along with raid bosses. Summon raid bosses in a beta, which seems cool, and there's loot pinatas. Little something for everyone. How's the movement? Movement is a way you instantly win me over with any game. If a game has good movement tech and feels fluid, that you can get me to play it on that alone. Double turtle reflect. That's a tanky shield. Hi, Bound Tardos, how you doing? Not played since release, got the cast 30 or so, I believe. 20 would have been the cap on release, yeah. Is there a place to see what's new or a quick rundown? Thank you. So you can look through the previous patch and hotfix notes on the website, but I'll try to tell you everything that's changed. They've changed a lot. One of the reasons why the community build stocks are in progress right now and were done months ago is because the game has been constantly changing, particularly in the area of balance, which is a very good thing. Some people paint that as a bad thing, weirdly. I don't know, they just want to complain. But they've been constantly improving the balance of this game a lot. One big thing that came in is the Blight Caller class. They released an entire extra class. They told us before launch that this would happen, but something that people hoped for was that it would be good. And Blight Caller came out, and it's extremely fun. It's very powerful, but in a like balanced sort of way. It's very good at DoT builds and gun builds. And then it's supplementary for pretty much everything else. It's got its own well-defined area of the game. Blight Caller is great. They've improved class balance as a whole. Spellshot has been brought to be less out of line with the other classes. It's still extremely powerful, still probably the best generalist class, but Spellshot has been brought down to be a little more reasonable. A lot more gear choices have come in since you've been gone. A lot more gear choices. A lot. Livewire was adjusted and now is very well balanced. It went from this is insane to this is really insane to oh, this is good. So I like that. We've learned a lot more about how to gear more optimally for certain playstyles. For example, throwing hammers, Clawbringer, Storm Dragon Judgment skill. We can now safely say not just for utility, but for also damage dealing, is one of the best action skills in the game. Spellcaster builds are very well defined and powerful. Ring slot gear diversity has gone way up. A lot of the rings are just desirable. Farming as a whole is easier than it used to be because they've restructured not only the rate at which you earn chaos levels, but also how chaos tiering works on items at higher levels. So it now takes, whereas at launch, it was 20 runs to get from chaos 0 to chaos 20. Now we have chaos 100, but up to 50, you can skip by 5s. So it only takes 10 runs to get to 50. Now at 50, all the top gear quality is available. At Chaos 60, enemy health is equal to pre-patch Chaos 50. So the game has made a little bit easier for people progressing up to that point, which is a good thing. But we still have a bunch of optional levels after that that provide more challenge for the people who want it, and for people who want a little more optimal farming, they can continue as well. At Chaos 64, you no longer get chaotic gear at all. So at Chaos 50, you no longer get non-chaos tiered gear. Everything has a chaos tier, which is great. At Chaos 64, you no longer get chaotic. At Chaos 75, you no longer get volatile. So Chaos 75 and higher, you are only getting the top 2 chaos tiers of gear in the game. And then those chances go up all the way to 100, where you have a 51.61% chance of getting ascended gear, meaning the majority of your gear is the top chaos tier. That's no longer a thing inflating your farming time. It's just better, and that's good. That's very good. The addition of more chaos levels has made our loot luck stat go up, which has not had a massive impact, but it does make drop rates for every kind of farming in the game, be it world drop farming, wheel farming, bunny farming, dedicated farming, all of it. It does make your drop rates better. That change alone is god tier. Yeah, it's really nice. Farming feels good in this game now, and I say that as someone who I don't play these games for the farming. I play for gameplay. I have never liked the process of gearing out builds in these games, but now I'm willing to do it because it just feels better. What else have they done? They've overhauled the enchanting system. We now have a cap of 16,000 moon orbs versus 4,000, which means that you can get a lot more rerolls in. They've capped the maximum cost of rerolls at 4,000, so you can no longer brick items and make them unrerollable. And that's really, really good. They've changed the mechanics of a few enchants and items that were not quite clear on their wording. For example, Spellblade no longer applies to everything, just your melee attacks. They've corrected both the functionality and the wording to reflect that, and that's good. Things doing what they say they do is always good. And this has also increased diversity in melee builds department. Spellblade's no longer like the best thing for 80% of melee builds. It's now more spread among other options, which is good. A lot of weapon buffs, a lot of spell buffs. Game's changed a lot. Just got in what changed for farming. I have to go through all that again. Basically, with the last patch, they made it so... Sneezing. Sorry. Allergies. At Chaos 50 and higher, you no longer get non-chaotic gear. At Chaos 64 and higher, you no longer get chaotic. At Chaos 75 and higher, you no longer get volatile. So the lower tiers no longer clutter up your loot pool as you progress to the higher levels where you need the higher tiers, or want the higher tiers, I should say. Much better farming system as a whole. Much better. I know that was very wordy, but I hope that all explained a lot of... There's, of course, more stuff I've missed. But basically, if you enjoyed the game on release, everything you liked is now better. It's the same game, but better. Thanks a lot for the rundown. Hey, my pleasure. You absolutely need to rest for get answers. Hey, I like answering questions. Obviously, the amount will vary depending on the question, but you guys here ask good questions. Oh, my pressure. Hey, Stone Swan, how you doing? Is Contagion still viable endgame? Yes. Contagion has never stopped being viable. Them changing the mechanics of Contagion just made it so you can't turn a trash dot into a good dot. You can turn a good dot into a great dot, but you can't turn a trash dot into infinite damage functionally anymore, which is a good change. And we've gotten more dot tech in the game on top of that. We have Blightcaller Capstone is the apex life form among both companions and dots. Like, the literal best pet they've ever created in a lands game is the Blightcaller Capstone. And not only can you control it by pinging, you can also keep it out permanently as long as you play to its strengths. And it does absolutely bonkers damage. And also it's immortal. Literally the best pet they've ever made is a dot that you have complete control over. It's good. Blightcaller new? Am I crazy? Yeah, Blightcaller is the DLC class that they always said was releasing in the DLC season. Came out with a 4th DLC. Newish? Yeah, it came out in what, June? July? Hey, Kirk, thank you for 15 months with the Prime. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Started playing Elden Ring, completely forgot about Wonderland. Super happy and come here to stay updated on everything. Happy to provide the rundown and the catch-up, Bob the Blueprint. How's Elden Ring been treating you? I heard, I didn't look into it, but rumors of what might be in DLC content recently. Any truth to that? Or is it just more community copium?
She's just a girl and she's on fire. There you go, Quack.
Dot Matrix.
Thank you again, Kirk. Do we know what the max capacity is on wards? I don't know the number, but I know what the ward is. The static charge with the turtle part is the max. Bring the mustard. Spent 2 days in Millennia, I want to die, but yes, apparently the DLC is really excited for it. That's cool.
Think you can make it? You go on ahead. I'll...
So I've been messing with Curse of Malice today, for anyone who just joined, and it's my new favorite spell.
At least you're some use. You're looking for trouble. You found it. Looks like magic's back on the menu. Drop the ball.
I don't know where that one casted.
I'm getting
I think that happened in another map.
Tell the Reaper I sent you.
Reference on things you can do and send in certain guns to certain runes. You can customize how you want the runes you get. I do like customization.
I made a meaner stuff than that.
There we go. Rolling wards, currently running a 12k Mind Rune, Desperate Enchant, got a purple at 13k, I haven't seen huge static charge yet. I wonder what that number is. I don't have it on this save, but it's big, it's like 14k. The top 3 wards are gonna be Mind Rune, Static Charge, and Maced Wardu, I believe. But purples are not far behind. Like, perfectly rolled purples, not far behind at all. And if you're running a deathless, then kinetic friction is also in the running. Not much looks customization, but how guns work and the buster gets very cool. Yeah, that's what I care about. That is ultimately what I care about more. 13,819 is static charge. I don't know if it can roll capacity. It can roll turtle, and I think it rolls capacity, yeah.
Real cute.
This'll be over before you can
My skeletal armies are endless.
Bell swords are ready! Oil out the oven!
And how to now be on Discord if you need me? Sounds good. Would Red Hellion be good for proccing the Skeeve spells? No, because Red Hellion would probably just kill it. Red Hellion's got extremely high DPS. So if you're using it in a build with a lot of gun damage, it's just going to kill everything. If you're using it in a build without gun damage, well, you're just going to reload all the time. Good things for proccing the Skeep: Queen's Cry tasers, times 18 body rockers. Here, I'll try and do body rocker. Spirit Swarm, stop it. Yeah, it's very consistent.
angry us. Fallen fresh!
My endless reign has just begun. I was casting.
Low level Red Hellion to do it? No. What makes you think the Red Hellion would be good at it, is my question. Frozen Orb's good, tends to kill the Skeep within like 3 casts. Yeah, some spells have that problem. Curse of Malice has that problem too, but only if I stack Radius. Bro, stop teleporting. Hello? Do install it since you got the key from stream. Lino, send you the config to add to your NA files. Yeah, sounds good, Rabbit. I didn't finish the process for claiming the key, but I did earn it. So. There's the damage. Oh, and Curse of Malice absolutely shits on Bernadette, as we found out last run. Like, look at that. It's so good. Hey, Lurk Laugh Love, how you doing? Goes the Tiny Tinaing? It goes great. Finally messing around with a spell I've been wanting to build around for a while. Since DLC 4 came out, actually. And having a great time with it. It's actually massively outperforming my expectations for it. Which is always a great feeling. Is times 7 or times 8? Times 7. The difference between times 7 and times 8 is not worth the extra part, because you get two more hits, but like, Why do that when you could just get more damage on all of the hits you already have, which is why I went spell damage. I have a double crit chance part 1 right now because that's just what I have, but also that helps me have more consistent double knots without having to take too much spell crit stuff. Like, I can still get away with 1 Demon Blight here. Technically, I could get away with 2 Demon Blights still, but I just have to keep Spellblade active. Yeah, the movement speed increases spells, so you can have it like 8 or 9. Yes, and do you think 8 or 9 is a lot in the grand scheme of multi-pellet items? Because, you know, this one hits 36 times per trigger pull. 36. Fragment Rain hits minimum 8 per trigger pull across multiple targets, and has a much higher fire rate and mag size. Or at least much higher firing uptime, I should say. Like, Red Hellion caps out at 10, and you reload all the time, and it isn't very sustainable. Red Hellion's great DPS, but it's not a great spam a ton of hits thing.
This'll come in handy. Never a moment's peace.
Where you get Demon Blight? DLC 4. Shattering Spectre Glass. Either you complete all 4 forms of Redmorn, or you complete the first form, and then it's available in the wheel. You wrap up Dragon Age 2 last week? I haven't yet. I've gotten sidetracked with lots of other games and responsibilities and stuff. I'm hoping to wrap up Dragon Age 2 next week. I've got Wonderlands today, New Tales from the Borderlands, either tomorrow or the following day. Then a few other things in between.
You won't be needing that. I've got all the magic I need.
This is one of the situations I mean when I talk about how Parasite is unironically more threatening than Wastard nowadays.
Beg. Got that going for you.
Because he moves more, he does more damage. There's less cover in this area.
Pop it already.
I'm not saying Parasite's threatening, but more threatening than Wastard, for sure. As I interact with Laser Hand? Oh, what, Polymorph? Laser Hand just kills the Skeep instantly. Also, it won't be a charged Laser Hand, so it doesn't get the crit bonus or the damage. Kill him fast enough so it doesn't do damage. That is an approach. Possibly show me a skill tree setup for Blight Sabo. If not, it's understandable. I haven't played the setup in a while, but remind me at the end of the run, and I can do that. Actually, you know, I can just do that right now. I can pull it up on Loot Lemon Skill Planner. 1 second. Alright, here we go. Blight Caller. Blight Caller, Stabomancer. Now, your action skill of choice here just kind of depends on you. A lot of people like From the Shadows, but keep in mind that Spirit Swarm is one of the 5 things in the game that is unable to crit. The other things being Blast Gas, Blast Chill, the Spore Fuse Enchant, sometimes called Spore Explosion, and Mosquito's Mantle. The 5th is Spirit Swarm, so keep that in mind. Your dots themselves would be critting with From the Shadows, but Spirit Swarm won't. That personally steers me away from the Shadows. I like doing Plague Storm on mine, so I'm going to just click Plague Storm here, but experiment to taste. Big things, you want to focus on all things that say DoT. So status, chance, and duration, absolutely, you want that. Status, damage, and duration, absolutely, you want that. You want exploit their weakness, for sure. And then moving on from here, you take haste because, you know, haste is good. Something to keep in mind is that melee spell and gun damage do not increase the dots left by melee spell and gun damage. They just increase the damage that feeds in. So Arsenal is useless here. Spirit Swarm does not get the conditional damage category. So you want to avoid, you know, conditional boost. Now, follow-up is a melee-only conditional boost, so it's even less valuable. That's something to think about. Fire rate is sort of formula adjacent. It lets you apply more instances, which increases your rate at which you can potentially apply dots. So I like taking Nimble Fingers here. But Swift Death is the only one of these that's going to increase your damage, so you take Swift Death as well. And then you take Contagion. Contagion is amazing. It's one of the best skills in the game. You take Contagion. Then back over here in this tree, like I said, Flawless Edge is one of the damage increasing skills for dots and Spirit Swarms. You take that. Amped Up is fantastic because it's good survivability and good movement speed. Wraith Mail is good survivability, so I like taking a point there. And then you've got Bogged Down, which kind of automates you applying Soaked. So as long as you're running a focus on lightning or cryo damage, Bogged Down is awesome to have. Now the thing with these is Worst Curse, Frostbite, Burnt Offering, and Toxicity provide you, and Amped Up, provide you different benefits for applying different kinds of dots. Because you're using Contagion, no matter what damage type you're doing, your dots are snowballing into other elements of dots. So you're able to cover them all, but you need to keep track of which ones are most important. So if you're running a build where spell cooldown matters a lot to you, then Burnt Offering has more value. Worst Curse has the least value here for a pure dot build because neither spell damage nor ability damage are going to benefit the dots themselves. Ability damage will help Plague Storm, and if you're using it, Geist in the Shell. But it's not going to do that much. So Worst Curse, I would say, is out. Frostbite is crit chance, which, again, Spirit Swarm itself cannot crit, but your dots can. Your guns and spells and melee that you're using to apply the dots can. So Frostbite is tempting here. I like taking a point in Geist in the Shell because it enables you to do some very cheeky bossing strats. For example, if you're against the blue or yellow raid bosses that have the giant weak spots that stick around, well, if you shoot that weak spot with a gun, it crits. Crits spawn Geist in the Shell, which will then fly and also hit that weak spot, also critting. It won't spawn another Geist, but it'll do a ton of damage even with very minimal investments. I like having the one-off point there. Taken Frostbite, and from here you can take Burnt Offering for more spell cooldown. You can take Wraith Mail for more survivability. I don't really recommend Hex Machina because while the fire rate after a swap is good, you don't have swap speed in this multi-class. Berserker is the only class that gets swap speed from the Instinct skill, so I tend to skip Hex Machina a lot myself. So we'll put Burnt Offering here just to cover it. Toxicity is nice because action skill cooldown and crit damage are both good stats. I like taking Restore the Veil for a little survivability, so we'll go here. And if you wanted to cover every dot basis for the sake of completeness and you squeeze a little more Geist damage out, you could go 1 point Worst Curse here. I'm personally going to put it towards Burnt Offering for spell cooldown, and then that leaves you the 1 point to get Spirit Swarm. So I'd run something like this. I'll put the link for this in the chat so you can have access to it. There you go. That's what I would do for Blight Stabbo dot build. Hero points would be max out Wisdom, and then the rest are actually just up to you. Depending on your action skill, you might want Attunement. Depending on your spell, you might want Intelligence. But know that, again, Spirit Swarm cannot crit. So crit stats are a little bit less valuable, and dots have a low base crit chance, so increasing your overall crit chance is not going to get you as far as it would with, say, spells or melee. So Wisdom, 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 and then customize to taste. If you want to be more tanky, Constitution. If you want better cooldowns, Attunement or Intelligence. If you just want more damage potential, Strength, Dexterity. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Morning, Snowspawn. How you doing? Read the description of static charge and loot lemon, see it passively halves your health. How does this work with unarmored? So the way it works out is the penalty is less than the gain with unarmored. Because unarmored defense prioritizes wards and gives you a greater amount of health from wards than you would get from health. The gain from the bigger ward is more than the penalty from less health. It still works out to more. That's why stacking wards is more overall effective HP for unarmored defense, and stacking health is more overall effective HP for deathless, because it goes through a conversion process in each instance. Notes are out. Let's see what we got. I forgot it was Thursday. Okay. Last week of Chaos in the World. So we've got King this guy in the Drowned Abyss. Envy and Shamwai drops Queen's Cry. Ooh. So this would be a way to Dedi farm Queen's Cry without doing raid bosses. That's good. Caster again. With the time skip. Time skip's pretty plentiful. People aren't really using it. That's another thing I need to get around to actually using. And then Obsidian Wyvern, given Glacial Cascade and Crossblade. So I think something had Body Rune last week. So they've been giving Dedi farms for the raid boss Dedi drops. Because Queen's Cry, Glacial Cascade, Crossblade, and Body Rune are the raid boss Dedi drops. And then new featured is Drill, Shara, Oculus, Taskmaster. So that's 3 obelisks. Ooh, this implies it might be the Gamescom format. This implies it might be the Gamescom format of regular room obelisk, regular room obelisk, regular room obelisk boss. The same page, Stone Swan. Yeah. So that's potentially really good. If this format is working the way we're thinking, they've given this to us twice before, then that means this is the fastest access to raid bosses that we've gotten. You can get a maker run done in under 10 minutes in this format, like doing the full boss gauntlet, which is great. Very speedrun friendly if you like speedrunning content, or if you want something from the bosses, or if you want to test your builds against the raid bosses. Hey, Dex. Thank you for the 23 months. Almost a year. Almost 2 years. Time is crazy. Keep up the great work. You're boon to our community and a wonderful human. Thank you, Dex. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Almost know how to do math. It's okay. I don't know how. I was curious to see what shooting Queen's Cry would do. Nothing of value.
That's more like it.
Do I have Poison Sword Explosion? I don't. So I guess I just... Am I spec bogged down right now? I'm not. So use this one. Although, that's the same element as my spell. I don't want that. I'll use the weaker one.
What have you done? What? Bombs?
Out to pasture!
Yeah, I would want not poison, because I can get poison dot off of Geists. Not dark magic, because that's my spell. Cryo's the next most logical. Cool. Homemade pickles make any sandwich better? True. Open special event stays? That'd be nice. 2 years in COVID times like a year. Real. Oh yeah, I wonder what would be in the vendors. We had Smart Armor in, like, last week, so I doubt we'd get that again. What else do we have in the current featured? Maybe it would go off the regular featured instead of the special event. So that would mean a good chance of White Rider and vendor this coming featured. Pretty solid chance. It's Wastard and Freezicles, right? Yeah, so that means good chance of White Rider and Spellblade. What are your opinions on ActiveBliz being acquired by Microsoft? Just read an article on it, it's been on my mind. I hope that Microsoft takes the opportunity to absolutely gut the leadership and just get all new people in there. Hopefully we get some real reform. Now, the cynic and realist in me are like, not going to happen to any extent that we would actually applaud, because fundamentally Microsoft is also just, they care more about profit than people, as all corporations of that size do. But I'm hopeful that it presents an opportunity for real reform behind the scenes with ActiveBliz. Now, yes, I understand the potential impact on the market with that, but it's amusing that Microsoft's defense of the deal, when confronted in, like, the context of an antitrust conversation, their literal defense that they brought was, PlayStation's too big to be affected by this. Like, look at how well they're doing right now. And they're kind of right. I hope we get more of these super long runs. They're really fun to run through. It's super satisfying to see the crystals and piles of loot in the loot room. Absolutely. Some of the most fun I've had with this game was last night, me and the boys, me, Lazy, Rune, and Stone Swan did a 4-player co-op run optimizing crystals, and we got 190k crystals each. We theorized that with a perfect run, we could get 200k each. But that's a lot of crystals, and it was a lot of fun just playing with friends. It's weird that gear from the future goes in the vendor. Seems like a wasted opportunity to me. What do you mean, Gemboy? Like, isn't it a good thing? Because a popular way of getting gear in Borderlands 3 was the Maurice vendor, which is locked to 3 items a week. And in this, we get 3 vendors a week. You know, one in each. And it's just another way of targeting specific loot. It allows Gearbox to highlight, hey, this piece of gear, go after this one this week. It's just another good way of getting gear. I don't think it's a wasted opportunity at all. Because we'll have different things in the following featured, so you'll still have access to a broader scope of stuff. Microsoft and Sony talking anti-competitive is just toddlers screaming foul. Neither has a leg to stand on. There's been a lot of discourse over how the Microsoft ActiveBliz deal is going to affect things like Game Pass. I believe I was reading something about how Call of Duty games won't be on Game Pass for a certain number of years because of that sort of thing. Which makes sense because Call of Duty had an exclusivity thing with Sony for DLCs for a number of years. But before that, they had one with Xbox. So how different are they really? It's one of those things that goes around in circles the more you think about it. So we've just had a good chance of getting that gear in the featured, and then it goes in the vendors. Okay. And why is that a bad thing? It's worth noting it's not always gear from the previous feature. Sometimes it's just completely other stuff, but... Like, a big thing with this game is we tend to have a lot of stuff happening at once. So there's not time to do everything. For example, with the Chaos in the World event, I've missed like half of the weeks with full intent of covering this stuff. It's just I'm too busy in chambers and just doing other things. So this gives me time to actually still have a good shot at getting stuff from the vendors. Like, the featured from this past week, the one that's going away today, I bet most players didn't do it because the special event was here. I barely did it because the special event. So I didn't get as much White Rider farming done as I wanted to. This is a way of, apologies for the screen shake. My arm fell off my armrest because I'm animated. I gesture a lot. I didn't get as much White Rider farming done as I wanted to because I just didn't get to do the featured much. With every time a chaos cap is increased, a lot of people are busy climbing, and they can't get to the featured for 1, 2, 3 weeks, depending on how much time they have and how invested they are in getting their builds up through the chaos tiers. We're still close to a cap increase. Cap increase was what, 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? Still pretty recent. So, I get what you're getting at, and I don't think what you're saying is invalid, but I prefer that it does work the way that it does. For all those reasons. Compulsory fuck Nintendo. True. Uncap the cap, no cap. I'm gonna hit Pistol Bunny again on the next one, because I want, a Poison Fear Not. Poison Fear Not Chain Lightning. I should put an enchant on that. Imagine everything run for the Chaos Chamber, you get every single boss and obelisk in one run. One idea that I was tossing around, while playing last night was, the concept of... So you know the Fire Friend objective, where you gotta keep feeding it? What if we had just an endless survival, where it goes until you no longer keep Fire Friend alive? That would be fun. And it just gets harder as you go. Like, maybe it adds curses as you go or something. Like, I'd enjoy that. That'd be fun. You'd see how long you last. Not saying gear from featured should never go in the vendors, just feels like overkill to me. I'd prefer to see different gear myself. Yeah, just difference of perspective, personally. For me, this gives me more time to go after what they feature, because otherwise I would miss out on a lot. Because there's enough gear in this game that some stuff that's been in the vendor has not been back in quite some time. Like, something I've wanted in the vendor for a long time is Wailing Banshee. Hasn't happened. And I would be absolutely crushed if they put Banshee in the vendor in a week that was busy enough that I didn't get to it. So it being in the featured and then the vendor gives me time. Remnant survival style format enemies leveling, start with full build. Yeah. Quag fine mode that needs to be a thing. Much as I love some Nintendo properties, Nintendo just clown a company sometimes, especially with content made about their game tournaments. You hear the phrase anti-consumer thrown around a lot, where it shouldn't be, but it should be thrown around with Nintendo.
Choose, Fate Maker.
Oh yeah, I was gonna reroll enchants. I know I already have that enchant on my spell, but it's better than nothing. Fellow young person. Yeah, it's entirely nostalgia, Pris. Skeep. Nintendo is such a rep as a family console, people overlook the crazy BS they do. Crit Connoisseur. You know what, yes. It'll murder my dots, but I'm curious to see how my spells do. Changing topics from that, though, anyone watch the Silent Hill showcase yesterday? And follow-up question to that, is anyone gonna watch the Resident Evil one today? So yeah, Crit Connoisseur, maybe not the best play for this build. But now we know. Oh no, there we go. That was some damage.
No one gets rid of me that easy.
Me, unless I'm at work. Answer both, one answer, no clue what you're talking about. Ah, understandable. Haven't played on both. I haven't played Resident Evil games yet, but I played 7 and most of 4. Very interesting series. I'm mostly expecting updates on Resident Evil 4 Remake. Maybe some gameplay of Resident Evil 8 DLC, which I think that's coming out in like a couple days, actually. If it's not out already, I might have missed it. But definitely hoping to see some Resident Evil 4 Remake news. But with the Silent Hill showcase, they announced like 5 different projects, Silent Hill projects they're working on. It showed next to no info about most of them, but the one they did show some info about was they're doing a remake of Silent Hill 2, which is by far the most famous game in the series. Of course, there's, you know, self-proclaimed true fans flinging their shit at the walls, like, oh, the character looks like shit. Yeah, the guy with PS2 graphics looks worse now. Uh-huh. Totally how that works, my guy. Mm-hmm. New thing bad. Unga bunga.
Never a moment's peace. Don't stop a killer.
Silent Hill 2 insert Fry meme here.
Looks like magic's back on the menu. At least you're some use. Well, that settles it.
Random thought, a game reviewer that primarily uses negative tone throughout the reviews, they have a tip jar type thing, it's just toss it on you, bitch. Negativity sells.
Thanks for the reload, dipshit.
I really want to try out this setup with Deadshot. Maybe I copy the save and we try pure damage again instead of DoT. We'll see. That's why so much social media is so negative, people eat that shit up. People are more driven to have their negative opinion of a thing confirmed than they are to interact with people about shared enthusiasm for something, just like in general. People will actively seek out places to complain rather than places to enjoy. It's sad. What is Celissa weak to? On her shield bar, nothing. On her flesh bar, fire. Versus her shield bar, you'd want to use anything but shock. And then versus her flesh bar, you want to use fire. Spell is that? Curse of Malice. Love getting proved wrong about things. It means I'm learning something. Me too. You said but. I did say that.
Rise and destroy this hero. Good for you.
Those ones are ready! Hot out the oven!
And these lightning bolt chucks aren't as good as doing, say, this with a sword explosion, but they're fun. They're just fun.
Like wheat before the side! How's that for an active reload? I would run if I were you.
I was casting spells when you were just a wiggle in your daddy's D20s.
Also, I forgot to respec again. Thought Rune was butt spot for a second. Doesn't Curse of Malice do self-damage? So, like,
That going for you.
what if you just didn't stand in it?
I'll take that. The stuff legends are made of.
You haven't. Kneel before your dragon lord. Okay, but you gotta walk and feed him yourself.
That poison dot from Geist did so much work.
You wanted to meet Bernadette. I am invincible.
I love that so much! Curse of Malice versus Bernadette, chat. It's the way. I gotta be a little closer.
This'll give you pause. Or
Oh, I'm out of ammo.
now that's the good stuff. You won't be needing that.
Get ready to roll up a new character.
Ouchies. You just want some ads for me, please? No? Okay, I could do that better. Order pizza for dinner or Chinese? I had Chinese last night. Pizza. I don't mind doing this phase over. I can do better. Like that. Are you earn more skill points after level 40 or no? No. 44 skill points total.
You wanted to meet Bernadette.
Which is good, because more would totally wreck build diversity in this game. You would start seeing more players make the same choices instead of many players making different choices. Oh, a little too far away, Bernadette.
Till armies are endless.
Can't wait to throw some spells. Hold on to something.
This fairy tale is over.
There we go.
Our spell slots.
I am invincible. That's fine.
Really nailed the right number of skill points right on that from launch. Yeah, they really did. Like, even 2 to 3 more points would have been catastrophically bad. But they nailed a good amount that makes us feel like we have enough to get a lot of things we want without having everything. And without really feeling like we're missing out. That's good. I'm gonna do Deadshot version. I have a Sacrificial Skeep here. Okay, that works out. No. No. But what if... No. Harbinger tried. Selective amnesia of the short fuse. Pog. Moe's in Wonderlands confirmed. 3-charge Frozen Orb. Still have my Tyrant's Truth, right? I do. Cool, I do. Morning, Foster. How you doing? There an optimal way to elite the chaos runs? You just put them all in elite. For what kind of what kind of run are you talking about, Assassin? Because the answer changes very much, depending on which playlist you mean. And also how many players are in your game. That also affects it a lot. Hey, Pupsy, how are you? Microplastics. Too soon. Solo, climbing chaos levels, chaos trial. You don't need to elite any of those. Eliting them is just going to make it take longer. And for the most part, when people are climbing, they're trying to streamline that process. I don't really elite when I'm doing chaos trials. Jake, what are you doing? See, we got a Kevin there, and we got a Jake at my door just meowing. What are you doing? Come on. It's a cat, not that end, the other end. Thank you. Wondering this the other day, between Borderlands 3 or Wonderlands, which game do you say enjoyed theory crafting, character building more, and totally different games experience? Obviously, I'd think I have an answer for myself. Curious your take. I don't have an answer for mine. Lately I've enjoyed Wonderlands theory crafting a lot. Post C100 patch, I've enjoyed theory crafting this game a lot more than I even was before that, which I was still enjoying. So, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. Try to find a balance between speed and enough crystals to get upgrades and make the runs easier. I'd say elite until you feel like you're going slow and then stop. Like, that's not a very scientific thing, but it's not a very scientific situation. Like, it's going to depend on your preference, and I don't know what your setup is, and I don't elite during chaos trials anyway, so I don't really have too much of a frame of reference. I'd say elite until you feel like you're not being efficient, and then stop. Marshmallow polymorph sounds fun. Okay, so what if we did Trap Scallion, polymorph, with spectral talons and Exy Blade, and called it Rack Stab? No? Okay. Cat. Cat. Yes, you are a cat. Hi, cat. You're a cat. Yep, yep. You are indeed a cat. Backstab. Immediately do that now. But cat. Can hear him? Yeah, he's a good boy. I'm cloning my save to test the thing real quick. Yes, I named the save Cat. Because cat. Hey Gio, how you doing? Obviously, Wonderland's fresh thing right now, and I'm enjoying most right now. I agree with your take. Just watching you play C100, not there yet. For the other viewer comment earlier about nailing the amount of points. Answers, I think, Wonderland's. My response to that is, why do we need to do this thing of pitting things against each other when no one is? It doesn't ever need to be a contest or a comparison. It doesn't need to enter your mind at all. And just simultaneously enjoy multiple things without making it a contest between, you know, which you enjoy more. I like thing A does not need to mean I like thing B less. I don't think I have a decent Graveborn Power Amulet, actually, now that I think about it. I'll have to figure that out. Gonna need that. But not yet. Not turn this into a contest, but my plus is pretty sure. God damn it. Think I can join multiple games without comparing them? Shock Pikachu face. It's something I do recommend. In general. Lets you consume games in a much more healthy manner. Also keeps burnout away. I get asked a lot how I don't burn out on games very quickly, and it's because I play a bunch of games at once and I don't compare them to each other. That's the answer. I might be okay without Graveborn Power here. Let's see how it goes. I want to try out Deadshot Polymorph. Saint of the Soul Essence Drain? Right? Do I go Imbued Weapon? I would have the reload speed. I guess that fits the theme of what I'm doing. I think people judge things too often we're programmed to with social media. I think there's something to that, yeah. I'll do a quick run of this and see how this plays. We'll be able to try the new featured shortly. That does less damage than I thought it would. Queen's Cry's fallen off a little bit, huh? Interesting. Curse of Alice is sick, though. It's a very loud spell when you use it this way. Ever done Mass Effect playthroughs on stream? Yes, when the Legendary Edition came out, I did a full trilogy playthrough, Gemboy. Yeah. On Insanity, of course. People don't make their own opinion. I think that's a thing that happens too commonly as well, Beard Birdie, because you'll see a lot of people who will, it's happened a lot with Wonderlands, for example. People who will hear something negative, and then they'll come in here and be like, how are you playing despite this thing that I heard? I'm like, well, easy, because that thing isn't true. And you know how I know? Because I played the game for myself. That's happened a lot. You know, I think I prefer the DoT approach, because the dots fill the downtime. Like, it's definitely bigger chunks from each individual. Because Blast Gasp and just more spell damage. But I think I prefer the Blight Caller approach. Quag Caller. It is a little inconsistent, though. I can definitely feel the difference between when I get Blast Gasp and when I don't. So that was definitely Blast Gasp. The optimal pairing for a Dark Magic Lifesteal build? Nothing, because there's no such thing. Dark Magic is not Lifesteal. Don't call it Lifesteal. That was an amusing death. At least I'll go back in on that phase. Content creator said Mosquito needed buffs on release, and people actually believed. The same thing happened with the Guardian Angel in BL3 Flip. Same thing happened.
No revive, no problem.
Some people can't accept everyone has their own taste, what they might not enjoy, or someone else might be their favorite thing. Exactly. But individuality is an important thing. Especially when it comes to entertainment. When it's something as innocuous as entertainment, you don't need to, like, define yourself by knocking what other people enjoy. It's just exhausting if you're that kind of person, honestly. no. I played myself. Oh, I saw that coming. This is the risk of Curse of Malice. You need to be very careful about where you aim this thing. Maybe they didn't know about it being able to double dip everything ever. And that's the reason why we do actual theory crafting for these games as a community, Snowspawn. That's why we have multiple people doing testing and fact-checking, and it's a group effort. And we don't make snap judgments based on something that hasn't been looked at by enough people. But the nature of being a content creator, particularly on the YouTube side of things, is that you can't wait that long. You can't wait that long. So that's why those two extremes are fundamentally incompatible. That's why you don't see a huge theory crafting presence on YouTube.
Ready to cast. Rolling fresh.
Hey Turbo, how you doing? God damn it. This spell's a lot of fun, but yeah, you die a lot using it. But it's so fun, though. Now, considering what I'm doing with this, I wonder if Mosquito is the spell for the armor for this. I know Mosquito for most things, but it's not actually a this is best for everything armor anymore. But I just wonder how this would work out, because I am maximizing my crits. It does hit 14 times per target. Potentially more if there's more weirdness there. Just a passing thought.
This'll give you pause. Oh, oops, hat. Helpful. Still time to run the other way.
A DLC spell? Yeah, this is from DLC 4. It's a very good time. Oh, Lance, that was so smart. He just teleported into my face. He's like, alright, you're using self-damage stuff? Bet. Explosions. Thinking about using Mosquito on gun builds to have it keep up with C100, but yuck. Mosquito's not in the sphere of... So, like, it's definitely strong. Very strong. And bad taste in the mouth still from how it used to be. But the thing is, it's no longer even comparable to Buffmeister. At all.
Who wants to get vain?
Buffmeister is way more impactful. Hey, 33 crit carouser. It's been a while since I've gotten one of those. I was whining about that last night. Hell yeah. Give me that. Which slot do I want this in? This one. And I would still say Mosquito is, like a tier below Pixies as well. Fear not Pixies. So, like, it's not in the same realm as either of the things that I still consider too powerful to use. And it's no longer a clear, hey, this is best. Because there are situations where other armors provide you just more damage. There are situations where Amnesia is more damage. Situations where Miasmic Mail is more damage. There are situations where Brutal Stampede is more damage. Try this. It's not great there. Shock weapon. Wee. Blaster, you actually hit me. I'm so proud of you. Wait, did my own explosion just block my projectile? I swear it did. Okay. Yeah, I've seen enough with this. I would definitely need to workshop this gear-wise. More optimal double knot guns, some grave class power for blast gas, and I'd probably still situationally switch spells a lot. So Curse of Malice has this weird effective usage area of spell dot builds despite it not having a good dot. Like 439 dot is quite low. But it just works. Because it also does good damage. Let me actually quit the game so I can get back in with the new vendors as well. So, 1 second. Situations where Head of the Snake does no damage. I don't know what you're saying, Irish. You're just kind of putting words together that don't have context or sense. Like, what are you getting at? Morning, Spinning Idly. How you doing? Giga Run, Quagium. Plan when you were listing good armors. In what way? I was talking about situations where Mosquito isn't ideal. I don't see how that's relevant to situations where Head of the Snake does no damage. Like, I get that you're trying to point out that, yeah, it never does damage, but that's not even how that works either. It's not trying to do damage. It is a thing that enables another thing. For example, Warp Paradigm doesn't do damage. It doesn't. It increases your damage, but it doesn't do damage. So, like, what's your point? Yeah, that's the kind of thing that, doesn't hold up to a theory crafter, because I analyze it. Last night I found an amulet with plus 96% status effect chance. How's the math for status chance? So each thing has a base status chance that it if it has an item card, it'll list it on there. So 9% with Sword Explosion. You calculate off of that base. So if you have 100% more status effect chance, your base chance is 18%. Now, some things have, like, hidden status effect values, and that's where it gets wonky. But some things also just have a very good chance at base to begin with. For example, the Shadowfire has a 50% chance base. So if you're using a Shadowfire, it's very likely you're already hovering near guaranteed status effect chance. There's a myth rank passive for status effect chance people forget about. I don't even remember which quadrant it's in, but if you look at your myth totals, there it is, status effect chance, 30%. It's multiplicative. That's not really how math in these games works. So everything in this game is multiplicative. Everything. It's a matter of what is it multiplicative with. So the phrases, that the terms additive and multiplicative don't mean anything without context, because almost everything is additive and literally everything is multiplicative. Literally everything. You need to provide context to that statement with something. How you doing, Manny Cake? Hope you're well. It's gone. It's gone. Sad. You're killing me. I checked now, Roddy. Like I saw a card with 110% status chance at some point. How that work? It's probably inflammation. They just do that to ensure that like it always puts a dot. Inflammation always puts a dot. Yeah, if I remember correctly, that's inflammation. Thought I could just add 96% to the base. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Go stuff a pillow. You wanted my attention. Was it worth it? Now that's the good stuff.
Definitely it. Cool. So this is the awkwardness of Polymorph Curse of Malice. I'm definitely not hitting the skeep with the spells here, which is sometimes a good thing. I can just do this. So if there were any enemies underneath, then they're having a bad time. Okay, dog, how you doing? Thank you for the dot.
Bloody back.
Opulent Wyvern without melee damage. It takes a bit. Also without being able to break the thing easily. Am I gonna get it? No? Looks like it's almost broken.
At least you're some good.
Hey, I got it. I didn't need to mess around with that at all, I just wanted to. Oh, I have an objective, right. I'm actually just zoning out looking at the pretty explosions. Skeep? Yeah, skeep.
Can't wait to throw some spells.
Break it up, trust and magic. They've been going with the same curse sets. Unlike a lot of these runs, huh? See the spell you're using with this now? How's it feeling so far? It's really good. In particular, versus Bernadette, it's extremely good, because it just insta-phases. Like, if you cast Curse of Malice on Bernadette with a Polymorph, the projectiles, like, spawn inside and just instantly phase. It's so good.
Forgot who you were dealing with.
It also hits enough times, you could pretty much guarantee a dot application. So we're doing some spell dot stuff. Did I forget to respec again? I totally did. remind me to respec. Not now, like, remind me to respec when the run is over. When the run is over, remind me to respec. Not remind me to respec when the run is over. To whichever smartass is gonna do it. There's chat delay, so know that I said it before you said it. Make it up your mind just as I was finishing typing. Damn you, don't for- Yep. Yeah, got you. See, I gotta stop polymorphing them when they're up like that. I don't even know what I killed. Also, should re-equip. That's not the right one. I have a body rocker with polymorph enchant. For that exact scenario.
That's more like it. Like wait before the die. Spells are spent. Nervous roar.
That was a choice. Michael Bay build.
You were short work.
One of these words you said registered in my brain, so I'm gonna default to fuck you, I can't tell me what to do. Understandable. Yeah, Polymorph cast Curse of Malice is like really good single target. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. Rarity spell you're using, it's a legendary. That's great. Just get a flying enemy over a bunch of other ones, polymorph them, then stick them with Body Rocker.
Have fun, Buzzball.
Oopsie, I was too close.
Bet you wish you turned away.
1 mil barrel, Pog.
This'll come in handy.
Borderlands version of... Now, can I even get into this with this? That's my question.
Catastrophe at my command.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Where'd it go? Okay, it's back over here. The struggles of a non-gun build trying to get into this fucking raid boss. Okay. Just a little bit of sword explosion. Lightly applied sword explosion. Just like a tiny bit. That's satisfying. So this is one of those instances of, a couple times I've had people ask me, like, if I ever play stuff that's, like, suboptimal, knowingly. Yes. Fear not, lightning bolts are not going to be nearly as practical for this as, say, White Rider, Sword Explosion, Shadowfire, but I really like these, and they're cool. And they're good enough to work. So that's why they're here. A lot of coiled in this feature again. They do that from time to time.
Who wants to make that mistake again?
Ouch. Death from above, hate spell correction. I thought so, but, you know, you're never sure. So. I don't feel like doing gloop right now.
Extinction event! Now you're a fleeting idiot.
Ricocheted off his attack to the enemy. That was sick. Unintentional, but cool.
I'll give you a good home.
Oh, right as the phase changed. I'll take the L. I'll take the L. Dire Sack friendly featured. Is it? I mean, I guess, technically. Yeah. Not Dragon Lord. Oh, Curse of Malice is also really good against Drill in this phase. Because he's big, you stand still. It's a good fit.
I don't do warning shots.
One cycle phase Sutra last night was stunned. Let's go, Roddy. Trust the magic 2 ward blessings. Ah, that would explain it. Rose chains aren't marriage. Nice. I can optimize this more. I really should go hit those rune switches. Having that extra crit chance would be good. Oops. Ouch. Everything's fine. It's fine. I got myself again. That's why we like Geist. Hey, not there. Corrosive weapons help. I think I have a times 18 corrosive or poison, sorry, body rocker in my storage. I should check. I should check that. Also, I need to respec. I remembered. I'm gonna respec. Okay, what do we got? Spellblade and the vendor. Arcane Bolt. We've got an Arcane Bolt in there a few times. Not super jazzed about that. Diamond Guard. Again, Diamond Guard, not that desirable, and the part variance is not high enough that you really have difficulty farming this normally. So, kind of a weak set for vendors this time. I was really hoping for White Rider in there again, but I suppose we can't get that every time. Spellblade, if you still want it for any builds. Note that Spellblade, despite no longer being relevant to, you know, things like melee action skills, is still incredibly high DPS for swinging your melee weapon, and it also it gives you that 80% spell crit chance on hitting with it. So if you're using a setup where you're trying to get good consistency on double knot or some such, that's a big increase as long as you're able to melee every so often. That's why I'm using it here. I'm running to the bathroom. Be right back. 1 second. Here, you can look at Curse of Malice while I do that. Okay, be back. Seriously, still blown away by how much I'm enjoying Curse of Malice here. I could have a better ring here, because Promise Ring's not really active. Especially because I'm doing Polymorph. It's just not relevant here. So I could roll for a better ring. I mostly just want that spell crit chance. The Radius helps. But I don't need much of that. Let's roll Ring Bunny. See what we get. Even a good purple would be an upgrade here. Of course, it's another Promise Ring. More Promise Rings. Okay, game, come on. Like, he doesn't want Promise Rings. Alright, bet. Give him Promise Rings. Would Shark's-Bane be a good play here? Maybe a Shark's-Bane. No, but Spirit Storm doesn't get conditional. I always forget that bit. I love your emote combos, Turbo. Spell damage, spell crit damage, spell crit chance, sniper reload speed. No, I want a little more spell crit chance, I think. That had Ascended I would have taken, but... That's spell damage, spell crit damage, shotgun crit damage. That's nice. But I want the crit chance. Because the crit chance means double knots. And consistency in double knots is, a very desirable thing. Something I want to avoid on my rings is action skill duration, because Polymorph already goes a little too long sometimes. Dark Magic Efficiency could be interesting here. Since I do have Restore the Veil, I can use Dark Magic to just fill my wards, but Dark Magic healing from spells is not great. It would be from other Dark Magic things, and that would require me changing the focus elsewhere. So, on second thought, maybe not. There's another thing I wanted. I don't remember what. Spirit Storm doesn't get conditional, does that mean? Conditional damage is one of the categories in the damage formula. It's just not in the formula for Spirit Storm. So, that means Spirit Storm does not get Cursed Wit, for example. Because that's a conditional bonus. That's just where it falls formula-wise. You can hit exclamation point damage to see the community damage formula document. It's color-coded and everything. Pretty easy to read. Very comprehensive. Crazy how dark magic spells don't heal. Yeah, dark magic spells in melee just don't quite work. Dark magic guns, good for healing. You know, plate mail bonus element, good for healing. But the spells themselves, It gets it, it just won't double dip it. Right, it gets it because the dots got it. Or does it just get it a total of once, is how it's set up. So, like, if your dot didn't get it, Spirit Swarm could. Or vice versa. First part of the formula is status formula. Yeah, so the dot gets it, and then, yeah, okay. The dot section of its formula gets it. So it's not quite accurate to say it doesn't get conditional, but it doesn't double dip conditional versus most other things you would take for it being double dipped, so it ends up being less value. See, this is part of why, as I referenced earlier, community theory crafting. Because you get live, real-time fact checks, sort of, like more precise wording, because you have multiple people involved. And that's part of why I like live content, because you get to see these things kind of unfold. Whereas you don't get that in a YouTube video. Alright, respecking. I want to take, amped up. Especially because of the lightning bolts I'm chucking. I don't know how I feel about Bogged Down. Quite respec. Oh, thanks. I almost forgot. So polymorph, magic bullets, of course, max spell sniper, mage armor, font of mana, glass cannon, high threat count. Okay, that's all set. Virulence, of course, flawless edge for sure. Bogged Down, amped up. One wraith mail. Worst curse is more spell damage. Taking this would let me make up for not having 2 spell damage rings. But I think Geist is more important for boss weak spot funnies, and also Geist applied dots are crazy. Toxicity for extra cooldown. And the crit damage would apply to Double Knot and the spells. Definitely won't restore the Veil. Burn Offering's cooldown though. Frostbite. Imbued Weapon. I could get 9% spell and ability this way. 12% cooldown. 7.5% crit. It's better value than Worst Curse. Any significant changes made to this build today? We picked up a big weapon upgrade. We got a really good Chain Lightning Fear Knot, non-LE Chain Lightning. The crossbolts aren't ideal, but this is very high damage. And because non-LE Chain Lightning Fear Knots are still lightning damage, it's just more damage. So I'm torn between 1 point Prestidigitation for reload speed, extra point Imbued Weapon for more damage there, 2nd point Frostbite for more crit chance, or Toxicity for crit damage and cooldown. I think because Toxicity is 2 things, I think that wins here. Even though I won't be triggering that super consistently, it's more than nothing. Max crit chance for double knot consistency, max status damage. I have a bunch of sources of cooldown, so I think max crit damage is the play there.
How doth thou like me now?
Will this update? No, it doesn't. I forgot about that bug. Okay. Vibing enchant. It's relevant for double knot and for my chucks. Like, the conditional, or it's not conditional anymore. But it is just gun damage and crit damage on my chucks. However, that's not helping my dots. So action skill start or action skill end, one of the status enchants would be better here, I think. Because we have global there, we have global there. I could go global there and then, like, gun crit chance here. Go gun damage and fire rate here. And the spell shot one. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. I will ponder that. Any interest in the first Ascendant? I very briefly watched Rabbit play some this morning. I do, because I got it through Twitch drops, I do have a beta key to try it out. I can't guarantee I'll actually get around to it before that ends, but I might dip a toe in. Armor you're wearing? Miasmic Mail. For the status chance and status damage.
Come on, have some fun. You go on ahead. I'll swing in later.
Have fun, Fuzzball. I'm getting the hang of this. Forgotten before they hit the ground. Volley stop. Bull-headed fool.
Who did I polymorph? Wasn't trying to polymorph you.
Now that's the good stuff. Inexorable.
I already have a caustic spell blade, but thank you. Zomboss. Oopsie. Oh, I just missed there. Okay, so one thing that's missing from this currently is there's no damage ramping. So like we don't have Barbalode, we don't have Contagion, we don't have Plague Storm. So we don't have anything to get to kind of crazy numbers. We might need to introduce Barbalode to this. I don't have one on me. Might need to introduce that. Quag aim, real. Because in situations like this where Zomboss's hitbox isn't big enough to do anything crazy with Curse of Malice. It's just not going to be fast. Smells for Barbo? It shouldn't. Not to my knowledge. You're right, Nightbot, you're right. I would need to apply crossbolts myself, but fortunately, you know, Chain Lightning Fear Knots, they're crossbolts, so I can do that. I just need to not miss with that. And I do have to shoot to be able to chuck, so. The tech is there.
This'll be over before you can regret it. Eat or be eaten.
Actually, now that I'm using this lightning one, Frostbite doesn't do anything. I forgot. I need to use my Sword Explosion for Frostbite to apply there. So I can move that point and get Worst Curse, I guess, technically. Or second point Toxicity.
Gets me every time. It's just a flesh wound. Valves are ready. Hot out the oven.
Yeah, I could stand to get more damage on this setup, but it works, and it's fun. I think Barbalode solves the damage falling off. I wonder how this will hold up to elites, though. I think I'll need the Barbalode Yo-Yo for that. Because I doubt the Chain Lightning Chucks on a non-gun damage build are gonna hold up that well. Oh, the dots are fine. It's very satisfying to see that many Curse of Malice explosions. And see a little chunk disappear each time. It smells just fun. Big fan. Drill's another good showcase for it.
Was wondering when more of you turn up. Idiot.
Caustic Spellblade's also a satisfying addition to this because bonking with that will give me the spell crit and the status chance and the status damage. Doesn't Tails come out tomorrow? Yes. I love this spell. Yeah, I will be streaming new Tales. And as with all my streams, it will be uploaded to the VODs channel. So, no pressure. If you don't want to be spoiled on it, you can just... And you still want to see my playthrough, you can watch through the VODs channel later. This is a very good pickaxe. 1.9 swing speed. Caustic. With a decent enchant out the gate. Like, that's good. First episode is full game. Full game. Full game. What exactly is Chaos in the World? Saw this last week of it. Only started the game a month ago, so I don't know what's going away. So, each week for the last 8 weeks, JMLot, they've taken one overworld boss encounter and one obelisk or like world enemy, and they've super buffed them to like huge HP levels, like millions of HP, and given them increased drop quantity and also assigned them a dedicated drop that they don't normally have. That's a rotating event they've been running the last 8 weeks, so it'll be 2 different enemies each week. And it's been cool. It's been a cool proof of concept of what they could do to maybe win over some of the people who prioritize dedicated farming in landscapes. And it's been cool to have an additional challenge with some of those enemies they've chosen to buff having interesting mechanics. Like Eros Wyvern is an overworld encounter that it has a lifesteal attack. So particularly when you fight it while leveling, you need to kind of LOS it and make sure it doesn't hit you. Now the healing it doesn't scale with the amount of extra health they give it, so it's a very minor heal, but it's still there. And it is a very tanky enemy. Those guys are massive HP monsters. They give them a lot for the event, yeah. What am I rolling for? There was something I wanted. I already forgot. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, Poison, Fear Not, yeah. Drop rate should be 100%. Killed one overworld boss, 15-minute fight, didn't drop anything. Yeah, that's weird to me, Canary. I didn't know they weren't 100%, to be perfectly honest. I think they should be 100%, yeah, for that kind of thing, for sure. It should be 100% for multiple drops, to be clear. Like, for that level of HP? Yeah, I agree. Need to add Caster to the Chaos Chambers ASAP. It's always been a bit weird that Caster isn't in the chamber. Maybe they just didn't fix up his room to work with the chamber. Now, Caster doesn't exactly have mechanics. But it'd just be a nice little injection of, you know, extra spice. There's a bunch of maps that aren't in the chamber that you can access through the overworld. There's a bunch of obelisk bosses that aren't in the chamber that would be fun to run into. And then Caster is just a boss that's not in the chamber. I would like to see those added in eventually, if possible. You want a barber load? I did. Thank you. Have I done DLC 2 on this character? I don't think I have. So I've only done Fyodor. So, can't get it from the bunnies anyway. But thank you for the reminder. You are correct. I did want that. Cryo Shrike melee bolts, yes. Caster just slightly more spicy. I'd like to fight a lot more. He's a cool looking boss. Yeah, he looks cool. And he's all bark. No, Barkenstein, not talking about you. Although, give me my room full of Barkensteins. I wants to fight a room full of Barkensteins. Ascended Perceiver with Spore Fuse. That's certainly trying to be useful. It'd be weird if I didn't take that. That's a really low roll on an Ascended Rubies. Hang on. Can't this thing get up to like 350? What happened here? Caster's the only big boss that isn't Chaos Chamber that I can think of. Yeah. Which makes me think it might have been a technical limitation or something. But I don't know. Barbarians on Ruby is kind of nutty. Yeah. Like, there's a 300 right there, and that's still middle of the road. I haven't used Catatumbo in a minute, mostly because it just kind of feels like a discount headcanon. But the Ricochet could maybe make it a little more desirable. Is that its actual dot? Like, does Catatumbo just have that dot value? That's not bad at all. I thought that was the bug. No, it's just got a good dot. Oh, no, there we go. Hang on. No, okay. I'll stop doubting. That's its actual dot. The 400 here was the bug. It's actually just Giga Chad. Okay. I did not expect a black powder weapon not named Crossblade to have that good a dot. Because if you aren't aware, dots are really good. And dot guns tend to be Torgs. But every once in a while, there's an exception. Like, there's some good Dahlia ones. A couple good black powder ones. Multi-headed Hydra. That's a high roll on the damage. Like a 17 mag. That's really high on the damage. I didn't get a 17 mag on this. So this could be higher? Can these break 1200? That's pretty crazy. It's 2250, it's 2257, okay. Mine's better. Amp interaction really serves it well. Aiming is so OP, yeah. It in terms of single target, it just kind of feels like discount headcanon. But it does have a built-in ricochet, which lends itself a little bit more to multi-target. I'll do some thonking. But yeah, Gotham Knights, I have not had high expectations about that for a while. But the Arkham games, so half the Arkham games. So like Asylum and City came out in decent states, but Origins and Knight both had terrible launches. So I'm content to wait for Gotham. Sometimes it takes them a bit longer to get it right. This is the nature of the beast. Want to play Nightwing? You mean Thick Grayson? Because that boy got the whole bakery. Don't act like you haven't seen it. Mr. Sherman's without launchers aren't bad. They're not bad, though. Okay, Barbaload. Do I have a Blight Power Barbaload in here? Like, decent stats. Might need to go fishing around. Going fishing, K-Kona. Suppose it doesn't need to be Blight Power, it could be Spell Power. Hmm. No. Young Justice simply one of DC's best properties, animated or otherwise. In my opinion, it's the best that's available. It's definitely highly regarded. Gonna play Wonderlands, have a good one. Thanks for hanging out, Sora. Take it easy. I appreciate you. You enjoy Wonderlands. Do the thing. Yes, I support it. I'll do one more run. I'm hungry. I've been trying to force myself to eat more. I didn't eat during stream today, or before. But I'm trying to force myself to eat. Because I have an appetite, and I both enjoy and consume food. But my metabolism's, like, really fast. So I still constantly lose weight. Like, 27-year-old me would get stuffed in a fucking locker by 17-year-old me. In a fight. It wouldn't be close. Like a 25-pound difference. Just because I can't keep weight on. It sucks. I would actually just get picked up and tossed around. Curse of Malice doing work, though. Sorry for me to gain weight. Yeah, Flip. I've been just kind of constantly losing weight every couple years. But yeah, heaviest I've been in my life was, when I was about 17. And, now, 27. Weigh a lot less than that. Frustrating. Started watching Young Justice. I've seen the first 2 seasons. I watched it, you know, before it was canceled and revived, but I've not watched it since its revival. And it was long enough ago that I don't remember details. So it would be like watching it again for the first time. Speaking of great DC animated shows, started watching Harley Quinn. It's such a fun show. Love that show. It's a good time. I think it's one of those properties that is going to define how certain characters are depicted for, like, a decade or two. Like, you know how Mark Hamill's Joker just kind of shaped the Joker? This Harley Quinn show does that for Harley Quinn. It's just kind of like the quintessential one now. Also arguably does it for some side characters, which I think is very good. work in live entertainment. It's a very physical job, so during lockdown, I lost a scary amount of weight, still haven't gotten it back. Late 2018, I had a bunch of life changes, and stress kind of melted a couple dozen pounds off me. Not a couple dozen, but about a dozen. And I did not have that much to spare, so I never got that weight back completely. And I've kind of just been trending slightly downwards on weight since. No longer as unhealthy in other areas, but sucks. Had a really big setback that I haven't quite been able to recover from, so I empathize.
Devastation inbound! At least you're some use. Bells ones are ready! Hot out the oven! I could get used to
I have that trouble with binging, so I go on periods of no food and periods with all the foods, constantly in flux. That sounds unpleasant. I'm sorry. That sounds very unpleasant. It's also hard for me to notice having an appetite. Like, I've gotten better at recognizing it, but a long-term permanent side effect of some meds I was on a few years ago, for health stuff, is that it just kind of stunted the way my appetite works. So, like, I can and have gone a couple of days without eating just because I never felt the urge, and only noticed when I started passing out randomly, like, okay, why is this happening? Oh, you didn't eat.
now you're a bleating idiot.
But as I've gotten older, I've recognized when I need to eat a little bit better. Where's my spell? There's my spell.
Eat or be eaten. Oi! Thanks for that. Huff it already.
So this is tricky. I need better fire coverage. Shadow fire would be really good here.
Now that's the good stuff. That's for making me look. That look suits you. Still time to run the other way. No magic left. Thanks for the reload, idiot. A healing potion, eh? That's more like it.
Damn it, Spirit Swarm. I needed you to not do that.
Perfect score.
Pigwort! Leave me alone! I take your eggs, take them over easy like the yolk. Same. What's happening? Pigwort, leave me alone. Okay, we're good. Kinda craving ham, egg, and cheese bagels. Me too. Dodged it for 2.5 years, just tested positive for COVID. Aw, sorry to hear, loading screen. Hopefully it remains mild or asymptomatic or what have you, but I'm sorry to hear. I have a sneaking suspicion that I've had it once, but that it was extremely mild because I, at the time, was very up to date with my vaccinations. I need to schedule another booster. Although, of course, that could have just been a really bad cold, because I haven't had a common cold in 3 years now. But when I get one, it just kind of messes me up pretty bad. It was generally weak immune system. But hopefully your situation remains as palatable as possible.
Have fun, Fuzzball.
You know, Polymorph, you wanna...
Carrying coin. I don't steal for free.
Okay, there we go. Hitbox moment.
I've got all the magic. Not this time. Another notch and not a coin to show for it. The end draws near.
Keep forgetting that's out of White Rider range. Doing some tests, can't notice a difference. If you use Deathless Mantle and Spirit Storm, Dire Sacrifice, 1 HP affect the jog bonus, or is it off? What it would be? Oh, the dot bonus. The dot of Dire Sacrifice is determined by like how much damage it did, and if you only have 1 HP with Deathless, your Dire Sacrifice hits for as little as it possibly could. So it affects it, or at least it should. There's always the possibility that something works differently to how it's supposed to, or how it presents itself, which is why I answered in a more ambiguous way there. But to my knowledge, it should just be absolutely gutted by Deathless.
Can't wait to throw some spells.
I had a horrible cold cough right before lockdown, about flu level or so, sick. Wonder if that's what it was. Because COVID was floating around worldwide for several months before it was taken seriously here in the US.
Fully stocked.
It's entirely possible. Even when it was at its worst, people still treat it like it's nothing. Hell, even right now, where we've still got literal hundreds of people dying from it every day in this country alone, people think it's over. Like, no. No. It's not. Shooting for the swarm's massive damage. Yeah, Dire Sacrifice is gonna do you no favors there. Cases here skyrocketed again. We're in just a constant dance of, oh man, cases are up. We should really do something about that. Don't do something about it. Oh man, why are cases up? Pretty sure I leveled up dealing with all the anti-maskers of the restaurant I worked at. I live in an area where more than one time someone drove by me and rolled down the window to heckle me for wearing a mask. Like, let's just put it that way. That's the kind of place I live. More than once. Like, who the fuck has the energy to do that shit? I don't understand. Even the CDC is like, yeah, this is an over, but oh well, go ahead and go to work code if you want. Almost like it's because it's an election year. Second Harbinger I've gotten today, that's claw power, that's been really trying. Heaven. Ice Spike's trying. Ice Spike is also trying. I've not gotten extra projectiles on a triple Ice Spike in so long. That was all anyone talked about for a little bit on spellcasting builds. They're like, oh, you have a ×5 triple Ice Spike? Like, no. Of course I don't. That's good status chance. Do I mess around with Frozen Orb on this with that? I guess. I guess. I'd rather it had a higher crit chance, but I'll try it. Triple Ice Spike Pixie meta. Amusingly, triple Ice Spikes were never better than single Ice Spikes appropriately rolled. Pixies are not peak clear speed for a spellcaster build. They're peak for a Pixie build, but those are different builds. Again, the Land's fan base has never appropriately used the term meta anyway, so. Like, you'll have people running around 2022 saying that the light show is meta. Like, no. No. Say light show, Hellwalker meta. Neither of those items are best in slot for even one thing in that game. But they're popular, and they feel good to use, and they're effective. So that's the general threshold of, you know, what people will expect to call a thing meta. Midwalker, real. Heaven, you've been continuously meowing at my door. Usually you're trying to alert me of something when that happens. What? 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 Come on. Easy to use, understand? Yeah, Milk Lizard. But meta literally means most effective tactic available, so like ease of use is a very small slice of that pie. And technically not a slice if you don't define effectiveness as including practicality. And that's a subjective thing. But I do think practicality plays a role in effectiveness, which is why I can't say it's completely incorrect of a definition. Because, like, if practicality didn't play any role whatsoever, then Flax Purple Tree would be better than it is, because loaders technically can throw grenades that can technically one-shot every enemy in the game. But they're too stupid to actually do it, and even when they do everything correctly, it's still a huge series of RNG hoops to jump through. So, it's not practical. It's possible, but not practical. It's been a while since I've seen a companion health roll. I wonder how tanky you can make Mushroom at C100. Because you can get 99 class power, that increases it. You can get, I suppose, technically a triple roll on 2 rings. And then you could have a Fortifying Sigil going and the Pack Leader enchant going for percentage of health-based regen. You could definitely make the Mushroom able to tank anything in the game with enough investment. It's just, the question is, why would you do that? Because it's not going to kill anything. And if you spec all that stuff, neither are you. So, like, why? I don't know. Cat. Alright, I gotta figure out what this cat wants, and also I'm gonna get some food. So I'm gonna call it early. You can't die, you can't lose. Not technically true. Yes, yes, cat. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. I will be live tomorrow. I'll have to triple check my schedule and availability and stuff, but as of right now, my plan for tomorrow is New Tales from the Borderlands. If I don't end up doing that tomorrow, it'll be the following day. So yeah, that's my plan. I'll be going in with you know, it'll be first playthrough and everything. And as a reminder, if you don't want to be spoiled on the story, if you want to experience it for yourself or wait for whatever reason, as with all of my streams, it'll be uploaded to the VODs channel in its own playlist, easy to find. So yeah, no pressure. Would like to have you guys hang out for that stream, but it's understandable if that's not your jam. Other nerd stuff, if you care about it, Resident Evil Showcase tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. I'm gonna watch that. Maybe I hang out in Discord for that if I'm awake fast enough. Otherwise, I'll just like watch it in bed. But yeah, let's raid Lazy because he's not often online and raidable. And the usual of Quag Chads. Yeah, as always, thank you for all the support. It really does mean the world. Thank you for the conversations. I really do like talking to you guys. Like, full disclosure, I was not really in the best mood this morning, but you guys always bust me out of that. Oh, hi Felicia. We're not ending. We're just getting ready to start tomorrow's stream. Yeah, we're just in part of the process of starting tomorrow's stream. So you're early. Yeah, sorry to without you, but seriously, thank you guys for hanging out. Not ending, just moving? Exactly. Quag Chads, we'll say hi to Lazy. Thank you, bye-bye.